What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the Strong.Sistas YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to share with you a full week's worth of meals eating carnivore-ish. So we've gotten a lot of questions about what we've been incorporating into our diet in terms of produce since switching from full carnivore. And we've honestly loved this past week of food, so we figured we'd make a compilation video of literally all of our meals Monday through Friday of what we've been eating to share with you. And then at the end of this video, we are going to do a brief recap about how we've been feeling physically, mentally, and energy-wise, adding carbs back into our diet. So if you are late to the party, Sarah and I have been following a pretty strict carnivore diet, low carb, zero carb approach for almost a year, which was really necessary to heal our autoimmune conditions and other symptoms that we were dealing with.
We were keto.
True.
So we've been low carb for quite some time.
Yes. But now we are on a healing our amenorrhea journey. We go into depth about this journey in a video, link in the description below. So this is our first time adding in carbs in quite some time, and it's now been a full week and we've really enjoyed it. So let's show you guys what have been on these platters. Just kidding. A few notes before showing the weeks of platters. The first thing is that we kept it pretty simple this week. It's been a long time since we've cooked a lot of these items, so we had to remember how to cook them, and we didn't want to overwhelm ourselves. As we get used to it more and more, we'll be making it more creative and implementing some more fun recipes.
Surprisingly difficult to know how to boil carrots in a pressure cooker.
Yeah, we
couldn't figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Anyway, another thing to note is the amounts. So we started off the week with about 70 grams of carbs per day. That was just the amount that we chose, and we have slowly ramped that up to about 110, 120 grams of carbs per day. This is just based on our bodies. This is still, if you compare it to the standard diet, relatively lower carb, more moderate approach. So it's nothing high carb, but it's certainly not just keto anymore. We've also increased our calories throughout the week. And another note is that somebody might say it was kind of silly for us to add all these different items in at once. That's not really how you come out of an elimination diet, but we felt really confident with the ones that we were choosing.
We were very strategic with the ones we were choosing, and we didn't experience any negative repercussions.
And we've both felt really confident that our guts are finally at a really healthy place to tolerate these different items that they were not at before. So I wouldn't necessarily advise somebody else to follow this exact path. You're gonna have to find what works for you if you're interested in this, but just to anybody who would say that we shouldn't have done it that way, we're fine.
And the final note is fasting. So we've been doing 2 meals a day, kind of a later eating window for years, literally years. And we started off this week doing the same thing, but near the end of the week, you'll see on the Friday, the final day, we implemented 3 meals. So we included breakfast, and that's because probably at this point in our life for this healing amenorrhea journey, it's not the best idea to fast all the time. So therefore, part of the breakfast club now.
You will see that our breakfast was very awkward. We did not know what to eat for breakfast since we haven't eaten breakfast in so long. But anyway,
let's check out these platters. So it seems the new theme of our plates is orange and brown, and we got some white. So meal number 2 today on Monday is going to be some seared chuck steak with a nice yellow fat cap. We've got some lightly seared lamb liver, and then we begin with the orange. Sweet potato coins that we boiled in some water, and then some butternut squash little cuts topped with some grass-fed butter. We have a side of raw Iberico pork fat, and then some raw goat cheese that we made, so chev. We have a video for how we made it. We're gonna enjoy on the side a little cup of sheep yogurt, which is A2 dairy, so not A1 for Ashley. And then we've got a side of beef bone broth with a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Let us eat the feast, yo.
platter number 2 today. So we've got the main course. So we have a sirloin steak with a beautiful fat cap that's like multicolored. Beautiful. And on the theme of colors, we've got 2 carrots, 1 purple, 1 yellow. Of course, there's some orange now, so we have some sweet potato coins that we just boiled and then put in the air fryer briefly, topped with some grass-fed butter. We have some lightly seared lamb liver, and then some beef kidney that Ashley braised. We've got some raw beef suet chunks, and then over here, we've got an ice cream that we just made. So the ice cream base itself is sheep yogurt and some frozen strawberries, and then we topped it with some beef suet granola, of course. That is going to be all.
Everything seasoned with Redmond. All right.
Let's see you.
Platter 2 today. We still got a whole lot of brown with some sirloin steak, some chuck steak, and then some beef liver with still some white with some butter and beef suet, but now we have some more color. So we've got some delicata squash, kabocha squash, a few olives. We've never tried these before, so I'm excited, and then some avocado. Cece's plate. Platter number 2. Today's first meal, we've got a little bit of pink. So that's some raw bone marrow. I love the light pink color. Mixed with some Japanese sweet potato that we roasted in the oven. We have some seared beef liver and then some beef shank soup bone, seared as well with some grass-fed butter. Let's eat, yo. Platter 2 of the day has some brown and some orange. So first we've got some roasted butternut squash along the side here. We've got a mound of raw beef suet. We've got some boiled carrots, then some vitamin C burgers. So these are organ meat burgers. These are jam-packed with nutrients with sweetbread, spleen, liver, and ground beef. Recipe for these in a vitamin C burger recipe video, link in the description below. And then some beef shank soup bone and a side of broth. And the final component of platter 2 is a lemon blueberry ice cream that we made with sheep yogurt again, plus some frozen blueberries and a little splash of lemon. For the second meal of the day that is truly beautiful. So on plate number 1, we've got some lightly seared sirloin steak and then some kombucha squash that we roasted up, seasoned with some salt, and then a side bowl of some sheep yogurt with some fresh strawberries and then some raw local honey. All right, let's see, yo. Today we've got a large mound of carrots. We've got some sirloin steak, some spaghetti squash topped with a lot of grass-fed butter, side plate of raw beef suet, and a little bowl of bone broth. Let's see, yo.
So there you have it. That's everything that we ate Monday through Friday this past week. I don't know about you, but I like looking at people's food, so that was fun for us to make.
And there was a lot more color, not just all brown, which was a nice little change up. So now we're gonna reflect on a few things, how we felt physically, energy-wise, and mentally this week. So first, physically, I think it's important to remember that when you consume carbs, your body is going to hold on to more water. That's just a part of carb consumption. And so we definitely felt that earlier in the week. We felt a little bit more bloated, had a little bit more water retention, but it makes sense because we've drastically increased our carbs. But as the week went on, it we like got used to it.
I feel like it really regulated.
It regulated. It feels fine now.
Yeah, like waking up Thursday and Friday, I felt the exact same that I felt before. I did have to intuitively remember to drink more water.
Yes.
Because when you're eating a low carb diet, you really can regulate your thirst. Just like, am I thirsty? Am I not thirsty? It usually goes based on how much salt you're having.
Yeah.
But I feel like with carbs, you can get dehydrated faster by not drinking enough water throughout the day. And so the second, third day, I was having to remind myself to drink a little bit more water since it's just so out of our routine now.
Yeah.
Energy wise,
honestly, it was amazing. I felt great this week. I was afraid that I was gonna have like, you know, get sleepy after meals and like get kicked out of ketosis and like have brain fog, but my energy was on point this week.
It was very interesting because, you know, once you go keto and you read all about ketosis and how that's like such an optimal place to live, and I don't deny that whatsoever, you kind of have these like developed thoughts like, oh, relying on carbs is gonna feel like shiz again.
Yeah.
And I just think that's more of a mindset than anything, especially if you're taking a really middle ground, low to moderate, healthy carb approach. It perhaps might be different. I felt good.
But I think it's important that we didn't skimp on the fats.
No.
Like, it's not like we went low fats.
Oh my gosh, no.
But I think that this shows us that like we're metabolically flexible, and so our body can use both fuel sources, which is really cool.
It's fun and stuff.
And I know that people are going to bring up the point like you shouldn't be consuming carbs and fats at the same time. That's like horrible for your body. Well, I would check out some resources from Dr. Masterjohn, where he talks about how it's not necessarily the combination of carbs and fats, it's the types of carbs and fats that you're combining, and the bigger issue is overfeeding. So being in a large caloric surplus with both of those, that's the bigger issue. If you are someone who is not metabolically healthy, perhaps going down like a pre-diabetic pathway, probably not the best idea to mix carbs and fats, but I would say that we are relatively metabolically healthy.
I'd say there's a difference between, for example, consuming like a Domino's pizza,
yes,
high in vegetable oils, fats,
yes,
and carbs, like very high carb, versus consuming animal fats and then like a low toxic whole food source of carbs with no added ingredients.
Correct.
I would say there's a difference.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to worry about that if you're somebody who's kind of getting back into the realm of adding carbs into your diet, which we were new to it this week. We're newbies.
One negative side effect that we saw this week was we were experiencing headaches for like 2 days of the week, like just a light lingering headache in the background.
It was like a low grade headache for me in the back of my head, and hers was more like right here.
And so we talked to our close friend Christian, who is a PhD student in biological sciences, and he is someone that really cycles in and out of ketosis intentionally. So we asked him, hey, is there potentially any headaches associated with this? And he said yes, and he explained it, and it totally makes sense. So if you're someone that came from a standard American diet and switched to a keto diet, you likely experience like the keto flu symptoms, and that's because your body is adjusting from using carbs for fuel to fat for fuel. Christian was explaining a similar type thing can happen when you switch back from your body being fat fueled to carb fueled, so switching back out of ketosis. So our body can be a little bit confused on like what fuel source to use, but I think those headaches went away when our body got a little bit more adapted.
They were there for the first 2 days, and then they went away. And so I think it's cool to see how the body can be so adaptive and relearn certain things. And I definitely want my body to be in a place where it can function and switch from fat fueled to carb fueled whenever I want.
Again, our goal right now is not to maintain ketosis. Like that's just not a main
But it's also not
focus.
a goal to not be in ketosis. It's more just like eating to nourish and love our bodies and what that looks like for us. So,
and kind of like that makes sense ancestrally. Our ancestors like likely cycled in and out of ketosis. They weren't like, I have to be in ketosis today, or I want to consume a lot of carbs today.
I was just laughing because I wish I could have like a tally on the amount of times Ashley's like, that makes sense ancestrally.
Okay.
Yeah. Our ancestors probably ate that berry.
Okay.
She's thinking. And what's the last one? Mentally. So I gotta say, initially I was a little bit hesitant. Like we've said, we're coming from a past of keto and carnivore for like all that we remember at this point. That's like the only way we know how to eat. And so it's been really weird.
Yeah.
Formulating our plaid as like carrots.
Yeah.
Squash. What?
Where do these sit? Do these go next to the steak, or are they next to the suet?
Where do they belong? And I can't lie and say that I didn't struggle a little bit in the beginning, fearing that maybe some of my symptoms would come back. But then
You're almost looking for something.
Right. I had a reality check in realizing that I did not develop an autoimmune disease by eating squash or carrots per se. Rather, it was over time the accumulation of a bunch of different stressors, not paying attention to the overall amount of toxins in my body, and not paying attention to also the types of produce. And I was eating some processed things like brown rice tortillas, for example. So I had a reality check with myself midweek, and ever since after that point, I've felt amazing. And I think it's because we realized that we actually really enjoy eating these foods.
Yeah.
And that we can have a balance between being nearly almost entirely animal-based and adding some of them in for some flavor, fun, color, spiciness, and carbs.
I've realized that like I really enjoy this way of eating. It's it's been beneficial energy wise, but also just like mentally wise, enjoying the platters. We've been very strategic with the specific carbs that we have decided to add back in, and we will go in depth about this in a future video. But it just shows that I think our guts have really healed through a full strict carnivore journey that was very important for healing.
Absolutely.
But now our bodies are in a state where we can incorporate these in our diets, and our bodies are like, it's totally okay to do so. It's not like we're seeing any negative repercussions. Yeah.
It's been really nice. Like, we've had several conversations this past week, like, man, Ash, I just feel so happy. I feel so at peace.
This is how we were meant to eat, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Us. We've really enjoyed it.
Like, if you're somebody who's like, we do love carnivore.
Oh,
but like,
absolutely.
if you're like, I don't eat anything else, then do you. We're just at this point in our lives where maybe 100% carnivore wasn't serving us anymore. And so we ventured out, and I'm happy.
I'm very happy.
She's happy.
It's been a great week.
I hope you're happy. Smile. So stay tuned later on this week or the next few weeks. We're going to do a video about why we're doing carbs. So kind of maybe some of the science behind incorporating carbs for healing your hormones and amenorrhea, specifically for females.
We'll also be going into other videos about the best way to cook your carbs, more details of why we're including this specific set of carbs that we have. Note, there weren't many green things on our platters.
And then some more mindset things, because I know that once we associate with a specific diet, we get very tied to it, and it can be hard to escape that diet culture mentality.
We've been having so many thoughts. We have so much to say to you guys, so stay tuned, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Until our next video, guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below. And until then, behave like an angel.